welcome back everyone. This week's Picture of the Week is being brought to you by Flowers Deer Processing. They are already ready. By the matter of fact, deer season opens next Saturday. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 24th, statewide in Tennessee. And Flowers will be open bright and early. They say bring them on. They're ready to start it up. All right, first picture here. Here's some pictures I want to get you ready for deer season. I'm going to tease you a little bit. I want you to see this one. That's a really nice buck, still in velvet. And then we got another one here. Let's move through these, Courtney, pretty good. We have technical difficulty. We got that one. All right, let's see. All right, as you can see, that one there's a fairly nice buck, and he's running with another one. And then you got another picture here. There's your wall hanger right there. Now that's a good one by anybody's standards. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit about these. There's another different buck, and he is really in good shape. And there's one that's got his nose in the minerals right there. Nice velvet buck. And here's a different buck with a crab claw on the end of his antlers, which is in. There's another nice buck. I'm just trying to tease you just a little bit because all of these bucks, these buck pictures were taken in Middle Tennessee, and they were all in southern Middle Tennessee. So we've got some great pictures out there, great bucks that we have running the area. You can send your pictures to us here, Southern Woods and Waters, 474 James Ronson Parkway, Nashville, Tennessee, 37219, or simply email them to me at hugh@southernwoodsandwaters.com. We'll get them on there really quick. I did want to show all those pictures because deer season officially opens the 24th of September, which is next Saturday. So you better be out there practicing for something like that. You don't want to miss that ones. You don't want to miss any of those. Now you'll be fishing.
I'll be fishing.
You'll be fishing. We'll show you what they look like, okay? Where was your favorite hunt spot? I'll get to it later. Hey, we have got on here tonight, I have got Elliott Lee and Tanner Hale, both collegiate bass fishermen right here. Tanner is, of course, with MTSU. Elliott is with Tennessee Tech. And we've been talking about collegiate bass fishing. Now, we know Tennessee's getting started really into high school, but they've really progressed a little bit in collegiate. But, Tanner, you made a great point during the break. Some of these schools, the reason that they're ranked so high is because of their location. Now, talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I definitely, as far as, it's kind of like more so of a home field advantage type thing. It definitely helps out as far as, where a school is located. Before the break, everybody that kind of fishes kind of knows, you got your Bethels and your UNAs. They're kind of always, year in and year out, they're definitely competing for the school of the year points. And, UNA is conveniently located right in Florence, Alabama, smack dab on the Tennessee River at Big Quick Lake, and Bethel is right on Kentucky Lake, and it definitely helps.
It's hard to beat homeboys.
To be able to fish two bodies of water that all tournament trails they use year in and year out, always stop. Whether you're talking about the FLW Tour, Bassmaster Elite Series, College Series, everybody stops on Tennessee River year in and year out. And it's one of those bodies of waters. It is a really special place, and we're fortunate to be able to have it running through our own state and all the way around it through North Alabama. But it's one of those things that once you kind of figure out one way to fish it on one end, you can go to another part of it and do similar things. It's covered in grass, it's covered in big bass. It's just a really special place, and I think it definitely is a big leg up when you're going there 4 to 5 days a week in the afternoon, to where everybody else is just fortunate to go there when they get to go.
Well, now, Elliott, where's Tennessee Tech's home field advantage?
I would say Cordell Hull.
Cordell Hull.
Or Center Hill. We're kind of smack dab in the middle of both of them.
Now, Center Hill, come on, dude. Now, that's a fantastic lake.
It is. I like Cordell Hull a lot because...
Well, that's more largemouth.
Exactly.
You're going after them. But Center Hill's more of a brown fish. But
brown spots. There's loads of spots, too. There's some good spots.
There's some big spots in Center Hill.
Spots on Center Hill.
And you guys should have home field advantage on that.
Well, the problem with that is none of the major trails come to Center Hill.
Why?
I have no idea. But like he said, they always are going to go on the Tennessee River somewhere. But Bassmaster, FLW, they've never come to Center Hill, so I don't know
Tanner,
why.
why would you think? I mean, you've been doing it a lot longer.
I've
I mean, what's the
been
deal?
waiting for one to come to Old Hickory since I've been doing it, just waiting. But you know, I think a lot of
But
it
does
just has to do.
Do they listen to the fishermen to ask?
You know, a lot of it is just the places itself. You know, you've got your Dayton's at Chickamauga. That's just a world-renowned place. You know,
Yeah.
Paris Landing. These places are just really set up to hold really large crowds. You know,
Mega
it's,
tournaments.
it's nothing for us to go to an event and have 200 plus teams show up for an event. You know, it's always fantastic everywhere we go. You know, I never can complain about anywhere we go. It's never been bad. I've never had a bad experience. You know, that's like a lot of it is just, and what a lot of people look at is what fisheries are hot, and like we were talking about, it's hard to leave. There's always a big bass tournament every year at the collegiate level. It's always at Paris Landing. It's always in March. There's no better place to go catch pre-spawn bass than Kentucky Lake, and the
Bush
numbers of
flipping
them.
time.
I mean, there's, everybody's got a chance to go catch 8, 9, 10 pounder.
Yeah.
To be realistic, fish like that are probably swimming around at, an Old Hickory or maybe Center Hill, but the numbers of them, it's just not there compared to a fishery like that can produce year in and year out. So I think they look at aspects like that, and they do, I think, take into consideration that it is hard for a lot of people to get out of class and get away from school to actually go practice. So I feel like they pick really popular venues and lakes that not necessarily are too hard to go figure out. We go at really good times of year. It's always usually really fun. There's usually a lot of fish caught.
But do y'all not think that Edgar Evans could hold a pretty good sized tournament?
I would think so, but I mean, Paris Landing is, I feel like the ultimate, but it's no Paris Landing.
Paris Landing was built for that.
Exactly. I think it could. You'd have to figure out somewhere to park more
I still
boats.
think like Goose Pond's ideal for Gunnersville. I mean, it can hold a big venue, but I still think Edgar Evans. But you go to Wilson, you go to Wheeler, anything on the Tennessee River system. But why don't they do some what's the ones out East Tennessee? Norris, and those Douglas.
Yeah, the Opens go to Douglas. I don't understand why we wouldn't go to Douglas.
The Elite Series they're fishing in Knoxville this next year.
Yeah.
They've already stopped there.
Why do you think? And something I heard, or the big talk on Facebook is one of the major bass fishing trails is not even going to fish the Tennessee River system next year.
I feel like some of it is, and I could be really wrong by saying this statement, but there's a lot of guys each year, it seems like, especially more so like I guess on the FLW tour level compared to Bassmaster, just for the sole fact that the Elite Series is invite only, to whereas the FLW tour is not, just strict invite. You got a lot of guys that are starting to pop up in a lot of these places that are local pros, like especially like out in Chickamauga. I mean, now granted they're well established, but Andy Morgan, Wesley Strader, Michael Neal, those three names are three of the biggest names. And the Tennessee River is absolutely their backyard, and I feel like a lot of guys just feel like it's just straight home cooking for them, when they go. And it really is a lot of those places. Anytime there's a ledge bite going on, it's one thing to know how to ledge fish, and it's one thing to know how to ledge fish on the Tennessee River.
Yeah.
It's night and day fishing ledges at Old Hickory Lake and then going to Kentucky Lake. I can tell you just personal experience. I mean, it's night and day. The fish don't school anywhere else in the world like they do on the Tennessee River. It's that's why there's mega schools there at the right time of year. And I feel like that's some of the stuff that they look at now with electronics the way that they are. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, those guys in practice, some of them don't even make a cast in 2 or 3 days. They're just driving just marking schools of fish. The hardest thing to do is to figure out how to get them fired up. It's nothing. Once you know what you're looking at, to roll over a spot, you can just count them. Hey, there's 22 of them right there. They look like 3 and 4 pounders. That's good. Let's go. Head to the next one. Now, granted, the one thing you have to worry about is on tournament day when 7 boats all show up to that one school and they're staring at each other. So, I feel like there's little tiny details and stuff like that that are playing factor to things that are like that. I've always been more of a fan of the Elite Series because they traditionally go to different, unique places. I feel like they provide more of a challenge to that group of guys. To whereas the FLW, which this year they are starting to do things different. I think a lot of it is because to kind of compete with Bassmaster. But, traditionally known, FLW starts at Okeechobee or Toho every year in February.
Yeah.
And then after that, they're going to bounce around to their Hartwells and their Beaver Lake and,
Yeah.
Stuff like that. They're going to always hit those stops. And, I'm not saying to forget about those fisheries, but hey, I think it provides a unique opportunity and, levels out the playing field a lot more when year in and year out, you don't really know where you're going because, a lot of those guys, they've been doing it 15, 20 years. I mean, they're, that's some of the best in the business.
And
You can't tell me that they're just accumulating spots and knowledge about places like this and digesting it. And, they're just getting better and better each year.
That's right.
So, I feel like that's like a lot of what falls into like as far as scheduling goes and stuff
All
like
right,
that.
we got to take a quick break, but first off, we got to do our product of the week. So let's go do that. For this week's product of the week, being brought to you by Highland Rim Tractor, your Mahindra tractor dealer, located right there in wonderful Millersville, Tennessee. Go by and check them out and tell them Southern Woods of Water sent you. Hey, we've got you got a couple products. Let's show them right quick, Tanner. These are hot off the press, man.
These are up and coming. These are going to be really big. The first one is this is K9 Fluoro Super Strong Fishing Line. This is a new deal. It is a fluoro coated line. It's not a monofilament. It's not just a straight fluorocarbon. It's kind of a hybrid, more so in between.
Right.
It has really, really low memory, which means it's going to last a really long time. One of my good friends, Kelly Albert, actually is the designer of this company. And this product, like I said, it's brand new. I've used it myself. Extremely impressed with it so far. I haven't broke any fish off on it, anything like that. Super, super good product.
All right. And then talk about this one now.
Now, this right here might be the baddest thing coming out. This is a hard swim bait, kind of like similar to a bull shad and a glide bait. The swimming action is unbelievable.
And it looks just like a thread fin.
Looks just like a thread fin. Just like a thread fin. This bait is going to be killer on the Tennessee River. I personally will have this bait tied on this weekend at Kentucky Lake.
Oh, this will be. Now, how do you fish this thing? Now, tell us right quick.
There's a couple quick ways. One, you can just see them schooling, busting on the main river.
Throw it in there.
Fire it in there. The biggest ones are going to pick it out. They're going to see the biggest bait coming through the water. Any type of isolated cover, money. Throw it at it. You can reel it up on top, or you can watch it come through the water. You can reel it like a spinner bait by it. Around the edges of grass lines, anywhere down Gunnersville, anywhere like that.
Elliot wants to know if you got another one because this one's gone.
But very, very good bait. Phenomenal action. It's going to trigger a lot of big bites. Unfortunately, that bait has not made it to stores quite yet. That is more of a prototype, but it is coming soon.
So
and
get ready.
It is going to be hot in this area when it comes out.
Where can anybody get the line?
The line actually has not hit the stores either.
So you're telling us nothing.
It is almost there.
Tanner, hell, you're a tease.
The line can be bought. You can contact me directly, but they do have a site, K9Fishing.com.
K9fishing.com.
It can be bought that way.
I still think you're a tease.
As far as going to your Academy Sports or Bass Pro, Gander Mountain, it's not going to happen right now. But K9fishing.com, and you can find all the fishing line that you need.
Thanks, Tanner. I appreciate it. Even though he's a tease, he's a smart tease. I'll tell you what. Hey, we got to take a quick break. Coming back, we'll be opening up our phone lines here at 615-737-7767. Be right back with more Southern Woods and Waters.